Okay, just to go this morning as our judge is just getting here and we'll let her get set up. Like I said before, we'll go from lightweights up to heavyweights. The judge will declare how many come back out of each class. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 1, sometimes she wants more. We'll let her declare what comes back for that final drive. That final drive will come in after the heavies. And at that point, depending on how many animals are in it, we'll sift down to the point where we're 20 hogs. 20 hogs is declared the star class. We'll stop at that point, recognize everyone in the ring for making star class, and then we'll let the judge go ahead and finish her sort. Something new this year that we are doing, star class, when you're released, you will come back to the holding pen. You will not go to your pens. You'll come directly to the holding pen. We can pull blood samples. So everybody will come back to the holding pen, star class, we'll pull blood samples, then you're released for pictures that go back to the pen. If you're showing two hogs, you need to declare which pig is going to sell in the sale. So as soon as we're done with the show, come over to the table and declare which animal you want to sell. If you don't declare within an hour, we'll sell your highest placing animal, so you'll be the soonest in the sale order. And if you got any other questions on anything, how this is going to go today, just let me know. We'll try to get those answered before we start. Like I said, Judge should be here in a few minutes and we'll get started. All right, guys. I was mistaken. Sandy was here the whole time. I apologize. Saying she wasn't here. She was just where I couldn't see her. So everybody should be aware of who the judge is. Sandy is back for I think our 3rd time overall. She's judged our market before. She's judged our showmanship before. We're super excited to have her back. So with that being said, we're going to bring class number 1 over to the holding pen. We'll start checking ear tags and we'll get ready to start the show. Class 1, please make your way over to the holding pen. stand, please, class number 1. All right, guys, we're getting really close to starting this. We did this last year. I'm going to ask Chase Black to give us an opening prayer this morning as we get started.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we are so grateful as we bow our heads before you this morning. I'm grateful to be here together to watch these exhibitors as they show their animals and as we see their fruits of their hard work and efforts in getting here. We ask that all can do their best participating and feel good about what they've done, and we're so grateful for all the things we've been given. We're grateful for this country we live in, the freedoms we enjoy, and grateful for thy Son, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ.
Thanks, Chase. All right, guys, here we go. Class number 1. Let's get it started. All right, class number 1, lightweight class. 11 entries in the class, weight range from 231 to 241. Class 1, 231 to 241, 11 entries.
ready to get going this morning. We have some specialty prizes we'd like to award for our educational displays. Our second place educational poster display for the hog exhibitors goes to Aspen Silcox. And our first place hog educational display winner today is Allison Dannard. So congratulations to Allison and Aspen. Your rosette ribbons and your premium prize cash is over at the table. When you are ready, you can come pick that up at any time. Results for the carcass contest will be announced today after the Grand and Reserve drive. After we've got our Grand and Reserve market confirmation, we will then do the buckles and banners for carcass contest immediately following that.
Well, what a super fun way. I almost went for a pig ride with Wyatt's hog. Let's give her a big round of applause for this first class. I'm going to start kicking them out. We'll go bottoms up. In 11th place in this class, Cody. Over there in the end, a crossbred hog that I think comes in just in terms of muscle to fat ratio. This one reads with probably too much fat. It's going to be a lower cutability hog. Cody, you know, those kinds you just gotta push when they're made like that. You gotta push them to make weight. So you're gonna sell on Saturday. That's all. Sales tomorrow? Saturday? Tomorrow. You'll get to sell. Congratulations, Cody, on your red ribbon. Macy, where did you go? Raise your stick so everybody can see you. Macy? I have Macy, right? There you are. Okay. Macy, you actually have a pig that I think is a trend, probably about 8 or 9 years ago, a pig that we would have chose. They're smooth made, they kind of blend better from end to end. But the crowd can see as we read this one, you get to the ground, it narrows up. It's a little too narrow at the base of its skeleton. I think when they do that, Macy, they're just not going to have a big loin eye as what we'd like to see in the class. So you'll be number 10 with a red ribbon. Congratulations, Macy. Good luck in your hog. Oh, reds don't sell? Shoot. They're all blues. Sorry. I was on the Dutch system yesterday. Red, white, and blue. No reds. No reds. Sorry, girls. I forgot. I should have clarified. So they'll be blues, and then we're purples right after that for callbacks. Blues all the way. Okay. Okay, Wyatt. I'm not holding anything against your hog for coming really close to me. He's going to be 9th in blue in this class. This is a hog that's very refined in terms of its bone work. You can see it's smaller footed, definitely long body. But as this one comes and goes, it's just too narrow chested, and you get up over the top of it, it probably reads with the least amount of muscle compared to what I have left in this class. But hey, Wyatt, you get to sell, and you're going back to the pig with 9th place. Congratulations, Wyatt.
Class number 2, start making your way to the holding pen, please. Class number 2, make your way over to the holding pen.
next three that I'll talk about. Cohen, you're gonna have the 8th place hog in this class. One that I think has a lot more muscle shape than the ones I just talked about. This one's super fresh down its top. You get in behind it, it has enough ham. I think it's down the side. When we talk about the bacon and the depth there, that one's gonna fall short of what I have left in the class. But Cohen, you fed that one for what it was, and it has lots of muscle expression up top, but it's down low where I think that one can get better. Congratulations, Cohen, on being 8th. Somebody here down there, so you can go ahead and drag your barrel out. I love the look of this barrel and the package, but he comes in maybe in my mind too short a package. You guys can see from the sidelines over there, probably one of the shortest loin hogs in the class, and maybe carrying a little bit too much fat. He's waisty down low. You can see right behind his sheath, he's got some node action there. So I think that one just didn't have the grow ability as maybe the one that I've left out here. Let's give Zoe a round of applause. Is she leads here in there? John, again, when you compare to what I have left out here, I think this gilt just doesn't open up enough in her rib cage there, and she comes too tight at her ham-loin junction. So for me, I think carcass merit-wise, she has to go right in the middle of this class. Congratulations, John, on your blue ribbon. I left myself on. And then the next we'll talk about number 5, Allie. Oh, Allie's right here. A hawk that I think has lots of muscle shape and freshness and turn up on the top side. You get in behind this one though, I think where you can see she maintains most of her weight from the top midsection up, and I'd really like that one to drop down just a little bit better, especially again when I get into the sides, and that's going to be a thing that I talk about a lot because we all know bacon is a high price cut. We didn't learn that, but go to the store and try to buy a pound of bacon and see what you pay for it. So I'll talk a lot about side shape, and I think that's why Allie's hog had to go 5th in this class. Then Jade over here. Jade, on the other hand, has a hog that has some shape and scale and size in terms of muscle from end to end. But Jade, this one gets really round in its skeleton and maybe doesn't move as good as it should, gets high in its spine. So for you, it's pattern and design. That's why you have to go 4th in this class. Congratulations, Jade. And then thirdly, Knox. Knox, you've got the one that, man, has a ton of length and extension, and I like how this one gets a look from the side. Super long in terms of its loin. Here's one, though, that I think is a little bit more hot dog compared to the 2 that I have left out here. And Knox, I think just a little bit more days on feed, that one would have been highly competitive. Congratulations, Knox. That leaves Adelie and Jade out here, and I know Jade's gilt isn't showing very much, but Adelie, to be honest, I'm not going to talk about you yet because that hog came in and I've been a big fan of it to win this class to start. This is Jade, right? No, I said Jade already. Oh, I'm so sorry, Macy. Anyway, Macy, I know this one got stuck in the corner. Macy, right? Did I get it right this time? Bexley. Bexley, I'm so sorry. I came here today. Really good job on this one. I think when you look at the blade on this one, there was none bigger bladed, none that opened up as big as the right behind the blade, and everyone can see what I'm talking about. There's no more rib shape that was matching that one. Do I think she has the pattern to compete against Adelie's? Probably not, but that one is a meat machine, and she wants to go back to the pen because I think there's so much muscle, she doesn't want to be out here any longer. She may, again, not be the prettiest fronted pig, but I think past that, you have to land on her for a carcass merit. Congratulations, Bexley! But again, you can see Adelie has the one that patterns up, designs well, still moves, and still has all the parts and pieces that we search for in a show hog look, and it has enough muscle. Again, Adelie, from the time she walked in, I knew she had to win. Congratulations, Adelie! You'll be back in the star. Only Adelie will be back in the star class.
Okay, class number two has 10 entries, weights 242 to 247. 242 to 247, 10 entries, class 2.
cheer these exhibitors on in the class 2 of the market division. Woo! Good job, everybody. Cody, I'm so sorry to pick on you, but you're going to be 10th in this class. And you know what? You've met these ones to market weight, and that's all that matters. We know they might be a little bit tender and more juicy, marbling hogs, and of course that's a deer hunter special. We're going to drop a lot of fat on the floor, and the deer hunters need you to get that fat to make a really good, nice sausage. At night there'll be Tyson. Here you are over there. Tyson, this one again needs more days on feed because that's a good hog. There's really nothing wrong with it. It just didn't blip into weight and not enough fat covered, so you see it didn't drop in terms of its ribs shape there, and didn't drop in that rear flank. Just not enough mass, and I think just more feed for that one. That was going to be a big pig to finish. Congratulations, Tyson, being 9th in the class. Macy, you're already down there, so you can kick that one out. This one, Macy, when it came in, I saw it was really narrow-faced. And when they're that narrow-faced, usually that tells you that they're going to be narrow at the ground, and that one didn't disappoint. Follow through. Tons of length and extension, so you're going to have a lot of pork chops on that pig, but they're not going to be big enough. Congratulations, Macy! Elena, I'll let you go too. This is another hog very similar to the one I just talked about. Just has a little bit more ham end than the one that I just had out, kicked out. Good hog, just not enough muscle. Congratulations, Elena! Allie, this pig has a little, has enough muscle. I would call it average compared to what I have left out in here. But the thing about this one, this is a structure and design problem compared to what I have. This one's not as level, wants to get low in its front end, and I think I really want that one to get a shot more open in terms of its amloin junction. Congratulations, Allie!
Class number 3, make your way to the holding pen, please. Class 3 to the holding pen. Class 3.
Right in front of me, Jackson. That hog is super stout, but he comes in too short a package. Whether you look at him in terms of his front end, he's really short in his loin, but man, he's a beast mode when you look at him at his base of his rib cage. I love how he breathes with so much muscle, but again, it gets into my thing, Jackson. If we take a look at the number of pork chops we're going to get, it's going to be lower than what I have left out here. Nice job beating that one out. Congratulations, Jackson. Jared, also pretty similar. I think, to be competitive on this end, that one would need to come out with a little bit more muscle and stoutness to compete with what I have out here. But behind that one, there is nobody better in that ham end. So we could feed a family of 12 at Christmas with that one. So congratulations. It's just in the middle. That makes you better. Congratulations, Jared. Then out here, you can see I have some differences. You either put Lindsay's first or third. I won't tell you how it is because I'm going to go right here with Tinsley's to go third. Tinsley, when you match yours and Caitlin's up right there, you can see, the crowd can see when I talk about rib cage. And yours just comes a little bit flatter and plainer as you look to the rear part of that body. So the lesser percentage of loin and bacon compared to the this class. Congratulations, Tinsley. There's some differences between these two, and I want all of you to say out the number in the one I'm going to put in two. McKaylin, I love this one's type and design. I think it comes bigger footed, has a little bit more stretch down the top, but I don't think it is as big as chested, as big and sided as the one I'm going to use this class. But McKaylin, you can come back to this side. Congratulations, McKaylin. Lindsay, this guy's just a complete package. When we talk about structure, muscle, maybe structure, you do have to be a little bit critical when you get in behind him. He almost wants to wheel out, but he's ambulatory. He's out here moving good enough. Congratulations, Lindsay. You fed that one to a perfect look and perfect for its genetics. Let's send her out of the ring and back to the pin. She'll be back with us our drive. With another round of applause.
Class number three, 10 entries, weights are 250 to 256. Class 3, 250 to 256, 10 entries.
Addison, go ahead and raise your whip so everybody knows who you are. Addison, there we go. You'll be in 10th position with this hog, with the blue ribbon. You know, this is a property, I'm going to go on the limb and say it's a Burt cross. And so sometimes, unless they're really bred for show look, Burts come in with the ability to really have a high marbling, but they sometimes sacrifice muscle. So you did an amazing job getting out that one. That one will be tender and juicy and should sell easy in the auction. Congratulations, Addison, on being 10th. Then Daxton, raise your stick. Oh, there you go. Daxton, there you are. Daxton, from the initial start, I like this one at the blade. I think it gets really open there, but as this one goes back towards the hip and hind leg, it tends to narrow and taper rather than wedge. And so for her, she's almost inverted. I'd rather her wedge back to a wider hip, a wider scatterham in. But a good job in terms of beating that one out too, Daxton. Congratulations on your blue ribbon. Heber, you finally get right. Was it Heber right here? No. Nope, Eli. Where did Heber go? There you are. You finally got out of the corner down there. Congratulations on that. This kill from behind, I love her shape. I love her ham. There you go, right? Yeah. I love the shape of her ham in. When you had her pinned down there, couldn't miss that. But when I read her over the top and right in the midsection of her gate, I don't think she has enough muscle shape to go any higher in the class. But you're selling and a blue ribbon. Congratulations! It's 7th, will be Hayden. There we are. Hayden, sorry about that, I was going to give you that snap. This one I like on the top, right behind the blade, and she has some openness, but then all of a sudden as you look down past that blade at the top, it's really flat, so it comes down, narrows at a point to the base of her body cavity. I think she needs to stay open all the way down there. But good job feeding him out. Congratulations on your blue ribbon.
Class number 4, make your way to the holding pen, please. Class number 4, make your way over to the holding pen.
Placed in 6th in this class, and so I missed it. I had my 6 way too far over to the right. Yours is very similar to the last hog I talked about. Opens at the front end of the skeleton, but needs to wedge back back better, and she gets to be longer in her hip and stay open at that top of that hip compared to what I have left out here. Congratulations, blue and 6th in this class. Eli, you'll be 5. Yeah, got it right, Eli. Eli, this guy has a little bit of a structure problem, and normally I can live with that kind of leg problem if they stay more flexible, but they get in and he's just a little wasted down low. So I think in terms of credibility, nice job beating them. You look great. Congratulations on your winner, Eli. Jared, you'll be 4th in this class. This one is not like your other one. This one wants to build soft on both ends. And I think for her in terms of design, I'd like to lay her back in her blade a little bit better and pick her up and get her better on her arm structure. She's good in terms of her finish, but in terms of muscle and structure compared to what I have captain before. Congratulations, Garrett! Okay, you had to wonder what I was going to do with the big pig. I think he's still in the flat window. He is a little wasted down low with Aiden's pig. I'm not going to deny it. But I don't think there's a bigger top or bigger hip in the class than that one. He had to sort 3rd for me. Congratulations, Aiden! And that means Cam and Tyson. For me, they're both of them when they came in, I starred them because of their build. And you can see, when I talk about build and show it, they're the two that can come out here and get their head up. I wish Cam's wouldn't scream. But really can get their head up. I talk about animals that can get a better read at the shoulder and lay back in there. They can get their head up because they're more correct in their angles. You get in behind them, by far the ones that can be real secure and drive off with both legs. The difference though, right in the middle, I've been talking about that all day. Cam's may drop, but it's because she's a little bit fatter. Tyson's is natural, so that means Cam, you'll be 2nd and come out and start off. Tyson, you'll win this class and be back from the start. Congratulations.
Class number 4, 10 entries. Weights
We're in class 4. There are 10 entries from a weight from 259 to 263. Let's put our hands together and congratulate these exhibitors. Tyler, I know you said you didn't have a very good day yesterday. I'm sorry to have to kick you out early, but I just don't think you have the pig to come in and compete with muscle and total pounds of product when we look at them at harvest. This one just gets a little bit hot about it, and you get in behind it, wants to flutter on his rear leg, but you fed it good for what it was. You got it perfect in terms of condition. Congratulations, Tyler. You'll be out of here with a blue ribbon. Zoe, I promised I would get you out of here. So your pig, very long, from its right there behind its blade to its 13th rib. But the crowd can see this one gets a little waisty down low. And if you're going to be waisty down low, you got to have muscle up top, and this gets too narrow. Congratulations, Zoe, on being 9th in this class. 8th is Cameron. Where did you go? Right over here. Cameron, right? No, that's Sadie. Where did Cameron go? There we go. Cameron's. I knew it was Sadie. Cameron, this one is very similar to what I talked about in Zeigler's. Just really long and tubular, maybe just too straight off of both ends. Here in a little bit more condition, and I think just too narrow in his loins. So congratulations, you're 8th in this class. Then Sadie. Got you, Sadie. I knew you were there. Sadie, this one, I can just, even as far as I stand away, this one cuts up too much of its rear plane and it's really flat. So if you're going to cut up in your rear plane, you've got to have some rib cage, and he just doesn't. He gets too dry there. Congratulations on your placing, Sadie.
Class number 5, make your way to the holding pen, please. Class 5 to the holding pen.
This is your top 6. Let's give them another round of applause. It's 6 going to be Tylee. Over there, right? There you go. Tylee, this is just a good, solid hog. I think there's enough muscle. He's clean enough. But in the midsection, compared to what I have out here, maybe I need to get that one better and deeper as you work back to his rear rib cage and between his legs. I think for me, on his ham end, he has lots of shape up high. He just doesn't have enough pop and flare down, stifle down to the stifle down low. Congratulations, Tylee. Fifth will be Anderson. There she is. Anderson, pretty similar. A hog that has lots of muscle, lots of shape. Maybe, again, just like what I talked about in Tylee's, gets a little inverted, and then I'd like to make that one better. I'd like to pull her in at the hocks and knees and get her set underneath her skeleton just a little bit better. Congratulations, Anderson, on your blue ribbon. Chloe, I knew you were for it, but I was like, I gotta double check. This guy's really plain in terms of his design. He's probably the furthest from show look that I have left out here. But I think when anybody reads this hog, at the top, there's one that doesn't maintain that for what I have left out here. He maintains his width really well. I love his width with pin set. So I think when we crack that one open, he's going to be a surprise. He's going to come with a larger loin eye. That's why I put it forth. He might not be the prettiest in terms of cleanliness and freshness down low, but I think that was going to be a surprise on the rail. Congratulations on your placing. So I guess the big question is, where does Camden go, right? The only boy out here, standing out here. So to be honest, I think I came in with a 2 that I was a big fan of their pattern. I think they're leveler down the top. So Camden, unfortunately, yours wants to get a little dropped on her hip. His hip. Let me make sure here. Her hip. She maybe is just a little bit more pinched at her loin than with the 2 that I have out here, but you've got her really good. It just gets designed to design on her, and that's no fault at all, just how she's built. You've got her awesome, and she's going to be really good on the rail. Congratulations, Camden, on third. I've got 2 powerhouses out here, and that's what I love when you can come in and see a pair. They're built almost exactly the same in terms of the design and pattern. There's some differences in terms of muscle. And you can see one's a little bit deeper and squarer from end to end, has a notch more extension and balance. Or if you want to search for carcass merit, you might have to go out there. Oh, Cameron, right? No. Allison. I didn't want to look at my paper. So you can see there's differences. If you assume there's only 2 or 3 pounds difference, you know, you can kind of isolate where those 2 to 3 pounds lie. Allison, I'm going to put you second, though. I really like the fancy pants out here that you're out competing with. No doubt he's a meat machine, but that's pretty easy to make. A complete hog with a little bit of fancy, that's the hardest one to make. 2 outstanding hogs. Allison, you'll be back for the star drive. And congratulations, Olivia. Not only is he the cool color one, but that one is built so secure, so solid, and has that show look. Man, and the extra proportion and balance from the side. That's why I landed on him to start this class. Congratulations, girls. Let's pay them off again as they head back to the pit.
Okay, class number 5. Class number 5 has 11 entries. 264 to 267. Class 5, 264 to 267, 11 entries.
class 5, and like you heard, there's only a 3-pound weight difference. Let's show our appreciation to these exhibitors by clapping our hands nice and loud. Certainly I found one to be at the bottom of this class, and there was actually a group that I think are very similar in terms of not having enough muscle, and 11th will be Mason. Raise your whip. There we are. I like the shape of this hog, Mason, but really when this one comes and goes at you, there's just not enough whip. So it just became an issue of muscle, but you're selling and you did a good job conditioning that one. Congratulations, Mason, on your blue ribbon. Then Tristan, over here, Tristan, same thing, just a good hog, maybe a little bit staler than some of the ones I kept above it, but it just gets into a narrower, frailer made hog compared to what I have left. Congratulations, Tristan, on your placing. Levi, no, wait, Levi's right there we go. Levi, this is another hog that I think, at other county fairs, it'll be very competitive because you have a little ditch down the top, you have a dimple by the tailhead, so that means you dial in the condition. But here at this fair, you got to come in with something a little bit more muscle down low to be at the top of the class. Congratulations, Levi, on your placing. And 8th, where did Jackson go? No. Jackson, way over there. There you are. With your black barrel there, one that maybe looks and appears stouter and really rugged kind of guy, but I think in terms of condition and cutability, he has to sort down to the bottom of the class because I think you're going to leave some fat on the field floor with him. You were really nice leader. Good job. Congratulations, Jackson, on your placing. 8th in this class. I know that was sorry. And then in 7th will be now William, right? Yeah. William, compared to what I just talked on Jackson, your hog is definitely leaner in its makeup and kind, broader down its top, but he comes down again to his knees and hocks are coming down base narrow, and so that just tells me he's not dimensional and genuine in his shape from top to bottom. Congratulations, Levi, on your placing. 7th in this class. And that'll end. Should have 6 left, right? Yep, all right.
Class number 6, make your way over to the holding pen, please. Class 6, start making your way over to the holding pen.
Let's give our top 6 in this class another round of applause, please. Aspen glad you shined that pig up, that blue-blooded gill. I think in terms of leanness, she definitely deserved to be in the top half of this class. Maybe though she really is narrow and cuts a funnel in her blade, and it follows suit in the rest of her muscle pattern as you work back to that 13th rib. So she just lacks that power in the middle. Congratulations, Aspen, on your placing. Nice job beating that one. In 5th place will be my Kate. Right there. Last night was one that I was a little bit sweeter to as the class went on. The one that maybe lacks in terms of structure, not very secure off his rear too, but also a little bit heavier in his condition up underneath his jowl, and you get in behind his elbow pocket. But I think with that much top, you have to be forgiving. That's going to be a big old pork chop on someone's plate come in a couple of weeks. So congratulations on your placing, Kate. Cole. This one comes at you with a big old wide chest roll. The base of the skirt is super awesome, but as you get on the side of this black yoke, she just loses curvature. She kind of gets stale down to the lower 1/3 of her body cavity, but you did an amazing job. This is a competitive class on the top end. Congratulations, Cole, on your placement. And that leaves Ashlyn, right? Adelie and Tucker. Again, I think I find the three that are very good in terms of pattern. They might proportion up differently from the side. They all have a show pig look, and I think they have enough muscle. Ashlyn, unfortunately, I think in terms of how this one's a little bit tighter in the construction past her 13 rib, that's why I'm going to falter and place her third. She just can't drive off of her rear too. That's being critical, but that's how I have a really good, solid carcass hog. But that's how I have to sort the top end. And the crowd can kind of see she's just really tight in her hip. Congratulations, Ashlyn, third and blue. Adelie and Tucker will be the ones that come back, and if you want to argue with me and say they aren't the freshest hogs in class, I won't dispute and get in an argument with you, but I also know I've ate some show hogs in my life, and you can live with a little bit more fat cover on the top end, because otherwise you can only cook a pork chop for about 2 minutes. And on these two, I think you'll have a tender, juicier pork chop. There's one that's probably a little bit lower in credibility, because they are the same exact weight. And the one that comes with a little bit more fat is definitely going to be the lower credibility hog. You've met this one way too nice, Adelie. But that one is so cool in her makeup. She drives off the both ends. The other thing that Tucker's has a little bit better is Tucker's wants to crank up that tail head just a little bit better, but it gets into her fat cover. It's almost too much compared to his. Congratulations, Adelie, second, and back to the start. Welcome. And I think when I talk about balance and proportion and just the whole package, you can see that's a show pig with lots of carcass content. Congratulations, Tucker. You win the class. You'll be back for the starter ride.
Class number six. We got 10 entries in this class, 10 entries. We got weights from 268 to 274. Class 6, 268 to 274.
Let's put our hands together for class 6, 10 entries, exhibitors with some really good hogs. In 10th will be Wyatt. Yeah, my little friend. Oh, there you are, Brent. A really good hog in terms of that has an average muscle, but after that you reach with a lot of fat, Wyatt. So you were way too nice to this one. So in terms of leaving a lot of weight on the kill floor in terms of fat, that's why he has to go last in this class. Congratulations, Wyatt. Jackson, over here. Where do you go? Oh, there you go. He walked right by me. This hog is kind of like, I would call this my illusion hog of the group. Because if everybody looks at him in this hog, you'd be like, oh, that one has a lot of muscle. But when you step away, I think actually the dressing percentage is going to be a little bit lower because he's really refining his bone work. And I think if we peel that fat off, we're going to see he's not as big as we thought he was. Congratulations on your placing 9th, Jackson. Then Steele way over there with another belted hog. Steele, a good just kind of average muscle hog. You can see from the group there, he reads with probably a decent amount of ham shape, not as good in terms of his depth inside. Congratulations, Steele, on being 8th. 7th will be Trayson. Trayson, raise your whip for everybody. Okay, extremely long. I think it's probably the longest bodied hog in the class. Really long loin, but no depth factor. So you picked out a long body hog, good look for something with a little bit more rounded body next year. You read it awesome though. Congratulations on your placing, Trayson. Then in 6th will be Rexley. Rexley, really a good hog, and compared to what I talked about, has some muscle, but maybe just gets pitched in its loin too much for me, and really is too laid forward on the blade, and I'd like to pick up its bigger structure just a little bit better to compete with the top of the class. Congratulations, Rexley, on being 6th. Tristan, very similar situation where I think there's enough shape up top. Really long body hog, but again, it gets into that ham-loin junction. I think that one needs to wedge out better and carry deeper down in its hams to come up and compete with the top 4. Congratulations, Tristan, on being 5th. And that should leave 4.
Class 7, make your way to the holding pen. Class number 7, make your way to the holding pen, please.
This is your top 4. Let's show our appreciation again one more time to that. Clap your hands real nice and loud. Brixton, I left this one in a long time, and I know I'm ignoring the structure to leave them in that long, but there isn't one with that big a top. A little too compact compared to what I have left out here, but man, that one is massive. Beast mode from end to end, a big old ham. Unfortunately, he can't go any higher because he can't walk very well, but I know he's ambulatory enough to make it to the kill floor. That's all that matters. Congratulations, Brixton. Kerman, I really like the shape of this hog, and this one probably isn't as deep-sided as some of the ones that I placed down lower, but I think as you look at her, she has so much top hip shape, and she still has a pretty deep bacon, but she really gets tight in her rear flank, and that's where I don't think she can compete against these two, and also she's not as dense in her bone work, but I think you fed that one perfectly. Congratulations, Kerman, on being 3rd and blue in this class. And that leaves Knox and Olivia out here. Again, really solid hogs with show look. And I know we say that doesn't matter. You can't put it pretty on the plate. But they bring them to the arena. They've got to have pattern. They've got to have balance and proportion. And if I told you that I'm choosing based on proportion, that all the pieces need to blend together. I think you can see who needs to go second. Olivia, he's going to beat you. Your pick's going to come second in this class. Congratulations. Knox, this one just blends so well. And what I love about this guy, probably my biggest, I know he's a little swollen on one hock, but he can still drive so good because I think the angle up top, when you look at his hip bone down to his pins and then that angle to the stifle, I think he's a little bit better there and he can drive off. He's so powerful on his hip. Again, I think it's more of an injury problem on his right hind. That's a good hog to win. Congratulations, Knox. Olivia and Knox will be back in the star drive.
Okay, class number 7. Class 7, 10 entries, 275 to 277. 10 entries, 275 to 277. Class number 7. Class 7.
losing her top line. She's just not secured. I think it just gets into her structure. And so I'm going to put her bottom of the class. Congratulations, Jasmine. Blue ribbon, they'll sell. You get to sell. William, there you are. William, this is a good hog. Really, you fed it for what it was. It has a little bit more condition, but this one is one that has a lot of width and mass up top, but then just gets too real quick. Wait, not Chris. William, there we go. Thank you. I risked myself. Crew, thanks for staring at me because I didn't have it registered. William, sorry. William, it's you. Sorry, nice, buddy. This one gets really plain, and you guys can hear me say when I say plain, you can see from the side there's just not a lot of curvature left on that pig, not a lot of muscle shape. Sorry about that, William. It'll be 9th for William. And then guess what? Crew, you're still not there. Adley, you'll be 8th. Yeah, 8th. I only have 9 fingers, remember, so when we get past 9, it's all a mess in my head. Adley, this pig is really more muscle shape, but I really think if we cracked open that carcass on that one, you're going to be surprised that the loin is probably smaller. She definitely has a big old ham and booty on her. Again, a really good Christmas kind of hog. Congratulations, Adley. Now, Crew, the reason why you're here is because that one was just all better than those last three. I like this one's shape. I like this one's mass. Unfortunately, you know, if you look out here, you can see the technical fits in the class compared to what's left. Congratulations, Crew. So that should leave 6. Now I'm good. Now we're within my county range.
Class number 8, make your way to the holding pens. Class number 8 to the holding pens, please.
Okay, this is your top 6 from class 7. Let's show our appreciation one more time to these exhibitors. Jackson, two names for you, Jenny Craig. The crowd probably knows what that means, right? That one, I think he has enough muscle. If you just would have put him on a diet about 20 days ago, I think in a different class, that one could have really shortened to the top, patterns right, muscles right, just in terms of cutability. class. Congratulations, Jackson! Then in fifth will be Peyton over here. Peyton, you're on at the ground, and at the top, right away, I'm like, oh, that's got muscle. But then I look down on the ground, a little bit smaller footed, not as dense bone. So I think when we go to the harvest skill course, we're going to see a difference in terms of dressing percentage and total pounds of muscle. And just because he's not three-dimensional in his makeup. Nice job beating him though. Congratulations, Peyton. Fourth, Hudson, I had him at the top of the class pretty much the whole time, but then when I start watching these guys go side to side, the crowd can see yours just doesn't drop as well down to that forward rear flank, and then it kind of becomes real evident when you step in behind him, doesn't have enough mass and spread between those hands and down his legs. Really wants to funnel, but awesome side view. Congratulations, Hudson, you'll be fourth in this class. And then third out here is going to be Cole. I think that very similar to what I just talked about. Perhaps if you started the ground on that one, maybe a little bit more refined. But man, Cole, if you can find one with a big old hand, if you pick that one out of the pin when you went to buy it, nice job, buddy, because that's a high price cut right there. Unfortunately, in the middle, though, not enough rib cage. Let's send him out, Cole, back to the pin with another round of applause. That leaves me Jade and Austin out here. And Jade, to be honest, your guilt wore on me as more as the class went on. I'm not a big fan of her pattern. I think she needs to be more up-headed and change her angles. I think she needs to blend better. But when you really, and another thing is, you gotta put some shine on her. That's unfair to bring her in all gray on the black ends, especially when you got Sandy likes colors. You gotta put a shine on the color spots, friend. But it's her pattern that I've called her the most. But man, she is so extended, so long-sided. When we talk about a slab of bacon, that one's gonna flap it. Hopefully you're putting a harvester. But that bacon is gonna lay there on there, and there's gonna be a ton of slices coming off because that one is big and deep-sided. Congratulations, Jade. You'll be second, but I'm not gonna bring you back to the drive because of her pattern. That'll leave Austin just a super complete guilt out here. You can see she's big boned, big chested. Is she the prettiest up front? We could talk about her carcass quality. Probably not as pretty as some of the ones we've seen, but she puts all those pieces together and can drive out here. Congratulations, Austin. You're coming back for the final drive.
Okay, up next, class number 8. Class number 8 has 12 entries, 278 to 283, 278 to 283, 12 entries, class 8.
congratulate these exhibitors in class 2. A really good set of hogs, and Ava, not to pick on the bird crosses, and maybe it's a purebred, just not enough muscle and power. But again, when the buyer comes by, when any buyer comes by and looks at your hog, say, hey, I may have been at the bottom of the class because my hog doesn't have enough muscle, but I'm Ava, right? Is that right? Yeah. excuse me, 11th in class. There we go. In 10th will be Hazel. Way down, Hazel, raise up your whip, nice and proud. A really good hog, has some shape to it. Just on the depth this side. This one inverts from the top to the bottom, gets a little too triangular as it looks to the lower one third. But you did a great job raising that one, Hazel. Congratulations on your blue ribbon. Then 9th will be Marley. Right there, right? Yeah. Very similar to Hazel. Marley, a good hawk. There's not really a lot wrong with it. It just doesn't come with some bells and whistles that I have out here, especially when we look at depth of sight, just like I talked about in Hazel. Congratulations, Marley. You'll be 9th in class. Jacqueline, this one wants to drag its toes on both ends, and I think that converts into not a big enough foot, not correcting its angles, and then as this one works at the top, if you really want, it just runs out of power compared to the rest of the class. An awesome job beating that one. Congratulations, Jacqueline! Gage, you have the one, like if we were in Sesame Street, that's the one everybody would be like, where does this one go? It doesn't really fit at this point of the game. It's just heavy muscles but compact. Shorter sided, shorter hip, big end on it, but again, it just gets into, it doesn't blend, it doesn't proportion from the side like the others in the class. Congratulations, Gage. And then it's 6th will be Tyson. Right here. Tyson, right? Yeah. I love this pig's look. I love this pig's pattern. Tyson, I think you're a showman. You already know this one doesn't have enough muscle compared to the rest of the class. Congratulations, Tyson, on your placing. I promise I'll quit in a second. 5th will be Hudson. Hudson, when you first came in, I would have starred by this pig because initial read on this one, right, Hudson? Chest floor is good, top is good. But when I get over the top of that one, it reads past the 13th rib, pinch to this loin, and then drops off its hip. Awesome job, being it. Congratulations, Hudson. And now I should have only forward. Yay, okay.
Class number 9, please make your way to the holding pen. Class number 9 to the holding pen, please.
This is a really good set of 4 here at the top end. Let's give these exhibitors one more round of applause. Sometimes as a judge you come in and you're like, where do I build? I gotta find one to build a class around. And I think any of these 4, you can do that. And it just depends on which traits you want to land on and select. Brielle, as I started to look at these 4, I think she just gets a little plainer in her shape. And you already know that. If you're a professional that's here, welcome. Get in behind her. She's definitely got enough width. But down through the midsection of that cage and down low, I think she needs to be better to compete with what I have out there. Congratulations, Brielle. And then Tucker, one that comes with a big old set of paws on it. I think she has the mask, but I'm almost going to say this one needed more days on feet to bloom for you. Just didn't bloom again in the middle. Great pig to start, but more days on feet you could have fed for the look on and get this one better. Congratulations, Tucker. That means Cutler and Owen out here. Owen, right? Did I say it right? Dude. I'm so proud of myself today, not to be so big-headed. Oh, and Cutler, you can see both of these drive off really well with their head. I think there's one that's just a little bit extra fancy in terms of its construction up front. Cutler, that's a good pig, but in my mind, that one has to go second compared to Owen's to win the class. Congratulations, Cutler. You'll be second and come out from start drive, but Owen, man, that one caught my attention. And if we talk about, I talked to some individuals like Jade earlier, that when you don't put a shine on a hog, and you can see Owen definitely That one can get her head up without cresting a lot, because nowadays if they get their head up, you can really tell if they crest, but it's because she blends so well at the top. She can get out and scoot out here. I don't think there was one that moved just as good as her. She proportions up from the side. I was a big fan of her when she walked in. Congratulations, Owen! Who we got for the stride run?
Class number 9 coming in next. Class number 9, 11 entries, 284 to 287. Class 9, 284, 287, 11 hogs.
9, please. I'll talk about Peyton's pig first. Out there, Peyton, your hair looks super cute. But your pig is kind of long and lean in the machine, and I think just this one wasn't built for horsepower. This one just runs out of massive muscle from end to end. Great job in terms of feeding her. Congratulations, Peyton. You're 11th in blue in this class. Lane will enter Peyton right now. A pig that really, when you get from the side, looks deep enough, but it's over the top of that one that it reads with not enough muscle, Lane, so it's just over the top. Needs to be wider. Congratulations on your placing 10th in the class, Lane. 9th, Kai. Kai, I think this one is as right, Kai. Look at me. Oh, good. Okay, this one actually, I think it was just a little bit leaner and showed up in different class. I think it could be probably more competitive. But when you come in with these heavier weights, you can see not as expressively muscled, not a big turnover the wing edge compared to what I have left in the class. Congratulations, Kai. You'll be 8th or 9th in this class. 8th will be Gage out over there. And Gage, this guy's a good hog. And there's some really good pieces right behind the forward. You can see the muscle shape still there. But when you get back to that rear flank, that's where he loses the depth of side. And then in behind him, it's not as wide through the hand seams as some of the ones I've left. Nice job beating that one though. Congratulations, Gage. 8th overall. And that should leave me 6 left, right? 7, okay.
Class number 10, please make your way up the holding pen, please. Class 10 to the holding pen, please.
This is the top 7 from class 9. Let's show our appreciation one more time to these exhibitors. Aniston, I helped you out probably longer than you thought maybe because I think you're a good girl. You're really good at genetics and finding good hogs. This hog comes with an extra length to its side. I like that part about it, but when you really watch him coming and going at you, the base of that rib cage is really narrow and frail compared to what I have left out here. But you fed that one well. I think you're dialed into the fat window. And again, it was this proportion from the side that I was a big fan of. Congratulations, Anston, 7th in this class. Rich, way over there with the black gill. I really like this one's pattern, and I think that's why I hung on to her just a little bit longer. And she doesn't have enough muscle, but she comes with a little bit straighter at the shoulders. She wants to drop off on her hip there, and then really when she comes and goes, it means very similar to Aniston's. Not as much rib cage and chest floor, that I think that shows that third dimensional muscle compared to the rest of the class. But that's a nice hog. Congratulations, Ridge. You'll be 5th in this class. Or sorry, 6th in this class. I was awesome. Jacqueline, you're fifth. Yay! This one comes with some added muscle, breeds with a lot more shape down the top than the last two hogs I talked about, but that one gets weak over its top line, and I think Jacqueline, in terms of cutability, this one's a little bit greasier down low, and it's going to leave that on the field floor, but that's a good hog, just not enough power over the top and strength compared to my class at the top of the class. Congratulations, Jacqueline, you're 5th overall in this class. Austin, this is a really good hog, but I think when we look at the last 4 out here in terms of rib shape, this one's a little flatter and drier, and you brought in the better hog in my mind in that earlier class. I like the pattern to this guy to really get out and drive, but it's all about the middle, that he falls short and has to go for it. Congratulations, Austin! And now there are 3. And you know, I've told you in previous classes that I've had favorites. To be honest, I don't think really any of these 3 hit me hard. It just came down to, as we read them down, these are the ones that are complete in terms of hardness merit. There's only a 3-pound weight difference between the 2. I think there's one that's just a little bit heavier in his condition, a little bit greasier underneath the jowl. Definitely wants to get out and go out here, but Tyler, you're going to have to be third with your white barrel. I just think that, again, it gets into a little bit staler down low, and maybe a little bit lighter, not as big a turnover of the loin edge as the top 2 that I have in this class. So again, there's a 3-pound weight difference, and there's things I loved about McKenna's, and there's things I loved about Cutler's. Both of them, are they perfect in terms of design and angles? Probably not. I think Cutler's is a little bit stronger out the rear too, and those of you who are missing can see what I'm talking about. McKenna's, right? Came outside the skeleton, she gets a little bit weaker at the loin edge. McKenna, you'll be 2nd. You won't be back for the star drive. Cutler, you're 1st. You'll be back for the star drive. Congratulations.
Okay, class number 10, 9 in this class, 285 to 295, 10 pound difference, 285, 295, class 10, 9 hogs.
You don't know what you want. Got it. That's not what I said. What did I say? I don't know where he went. He was walking around. Huh? You're it. You're it. Hi, you're it. You're it. Turkey. No. Turkey. I saw the Starbucks. Yeah, Charlie, come here. My dog's side. I was so not good.
Man, isn't this weather perfect for a hog show? Let's take our happiness from the weather quotient and pass it on to these kids with a big round of applause. Woo! Get super fond of these heavier weights because, man, these hogs are what they are. You can't get them any more genuine, and you can't change them. They've already put their weight on. They're getting to those points where they're going to show you their little tiny details of critical things that might be different, and then it gets into critical mass. Really, at this level, who's got more muscle? Who handles it, patterns it well? But for me, there's one trick, unfortunately, buddy, my friends. You just brought it a pig with a string length. This one, though, is not bad at all. So congratulations. Fat is perfect. There's just not enough muscle and mass to go any higher in this class. Congratulations, Trick, ninth and blue. There's Kinley. Kinley, same thing. A good hog. I think she handles her weight well on terms of her feet and legs and her structure. But man, she just really pinches in her loins. Doesn't open up enough and carry it out. Maybe it's more three-dimensional, like I find with what I have left out here. A good solid hog. Unfortunately, a tough class, Kinley. Congratulations on your blue ribbon.
water.
Jeff compared to the rest of the class. It's all the strong. Congratulations on your blue ribbon. Where's Aiden's cheering crowd at? We gotta give, yay, there it is. And 6th will be Ava. Where did she go? Oh, right there, Ava. You are a showman. Did you win yesterday? You should have. You were driving that hog like a champion. Good fresh hog. Again, look in the middle, look at the top. You can see what I saw. That's why she has to be 6th in this class. Congratulations, Ava. And then 5th, I have nothing against Durox, I promise. But I think when you have one you have left out here, Ashlyn, that one just has to go right there in the middle. Wants to be a little shorter, coupled off the front end, a little bulldoggy. So in terms of structure, that one goes 5th. Then Catalin, you'll be 4th. And you've got this, Catalin, right? Yeah. You've got this one ripped down the top. There's no doubt that this one has to be a high cutability kind of hog. Another one though gets a little too tubular in the midsection there. She just needs to drop down lower. Congratulations, Catalin. You'll be 4th in this really tough class. And now there are 3.
Class 11 heavyweight class, head to the holding pen. Class 11 heavyweights, head to the holding pen.
Again, there's only, well, between my top 2 at the top 295, and then in 3rd will be 288, so she already knows where she's going to go. And, you know, Lindsay, this is a massive little beast. This one has so much chest, a lot of top. I don't think it's as lean down low as the 2 that I have left out here. And he really probably, in terms of his head, wants to drop off just a little bit. But again, that's being too critical. Awesome hog. Carcass merit dialed in. I just got extra bells and whistles on the other 2. Congratulations, Lindsay, 3rd overall. Really good set of 2 at the top. And again, if you wondered about what I mean when I say put the shine on, these 2 definitely did that. Again, they're the ones that come with the added extras. If you went to the car lot, these are the ones you probably pay a little bit more for because they come with some extra extension up front, some goes down the top, they hit the surface with a bigger foot. The one that I think that blends better on the front end is to my left. Olin, you are 2nd in this class with your barrel there, awesome hog. But the one that has the better front is Knox, and she has to win. Congratulations to Knox and Olin. You'll both be back for the star drive.
Okay, class 11, this is our heavyweight class, our last normal class of the day, and then we'll go to star class. This is a little bit bigger weight spread. We got 296 to 311. Heavyweight hogs, 296 to 311, 12 in class.
Yeah, go ahead. No problem.
Trade Klingler, are you bringing your heavyweight? Trade Klingler, are you bringing your heavyweight?
Everybody just shut him down. We gotta figure out what's right. Oh! Yeah, there we go. Sorry.
Wade, please come to show ring.
Okay, this is the last time before we go to the Star Drive. We need you to congratulate these exhibitors with a big round of applause in Class 11. There's 12 in here, and you can tell as they get to these heavier weights, there's a lot of differences in terms of muscle to fat ratio. And again, it gets into really being a fun class for me to sort, because you can see those obvious differences in where the fat lies. 12th is going to be Gunner, right here in front of me. Gunner, really long body build again, probably one that needed to come in at about 10 pounds lighter, and then she would showcase better. She's got enough ham end on her. Of course, she is one that wants to get outside of her skeleton on her hocks, but just a good solid hawk. Congratulations, Gunner! Hi, Quincy. You're going to be 11. Quincy, this one just gets a little bit staler. And I think, again, just a diet, she grew really fast, though, and I appreciate that. When we assume they're all fed the same number of days, that's a fast-growing hog. I like that about her, but unfortunately, she just doesn't have enough muscle, freshness, and shape all over her body from end to end. Congratulations, Quincy! And then it's definitely Miles. Where'd Miles go? Right there. There you go. Pig tie. Or fish tie. I love it. Miles, really extended hog. Really, love the length of loin on this one. Again, just staler and not enough muscle shape. That's all that's wrong. Congratulations, Miles, on your placing. You're welcome. Michael Aspen. Oh, there you are. Aspen, I love the rib shape, the fore-rib shape on that one. And as soon as you get past that, though, it's flat and plain. And I think it has nothing to do with feeding. I think this is just an age deal. So I think this one got stale the longer it was on feed. Congratulations, Aspen, on your placement in this class. And then we're on 8, Sophie. Right there. I have to look around real slow, Sophie. Sophie, this is a good all-American hog. Like, these are the ones we kind of body shapes that we raise. They grow fast. Do they have the biggest loin line? No. Do they have the biggest side? No. And that's the problem. This one has to go right there in the position of the class. I think yours is one of the fresher ones that I just talked about. And that's why they were advantage of leading this to go 8th in this class. Oh, yeah, 8th. Congratulations, Sophie. 7th will be Eli. Right here. Congratulations, Eli. Another one that I think has the advantage self-esteem when you look at her from her spine down to her flanks. Congratulations, Eli. 6th is Trig. This is Trig. I know, but it's a beautiful Trig. Sadie, thank you for showing her Trig. We don't know what happened there. I was so confused during the class because I was reading the hog, but the face wasn't matching. Really a lot of shape on this one up high, but down low, this one comes together and wants to be a short couple. Thank you for showing her Trig. Congratulations. And then in 5th will be Addison. Right here. Addison, this is probably the best bird or bird cross I've seen all day. You did a great job picking out one that has some muscle. The marbling is going to be delicious on this one. Just not enough shape and extension out front. Congratulations, Addison, on your placing. And now they're 4. So now you can look at my sister. Brixton, you're going to be 4th in this class. Man, that's a meat machine and big talk. That guy doesn't want to be out here though because he's pushed outside of his prime, I think, in terms of fat compared to what I have left out here. And also, he's probably the worst in terms of structure. That's why he wants to get out of here. Congratulations, Brixton, on being 4th. Kate, you come in here with a hog that I really like the pattern. She just didn't shape up for you in the middle, but I think that she could have to rival my top 2 in the class. I like her in terms of her look and her pattern, but when you get to work on her side there, she cuts up really tight behind her rear flank, and it really detracts from the picture because she's a little bit too tight in her hip design too. But the muscles there, I like how extended she is from the side. Congratulations, Kate, 3rd and blue. I got the pair to start the class and I remember a little sure winner at first. No, not really. But I think when you watch her move out here, you can see one that blends a little bit better. Caitlin, that's a good hog, but a little too short on the front end, a little too open up there on the top side of the skeleton. To feet next to Tyler. Good solid hog. Love the density of bone. Congratulations, Caitlin, 2nd overall. I won't bring you back to the start class. Tyler, you'll be back for this, right, Tyler? Yeah, you'll be back for the star class. That is just an ultra complete hog. I love how all the parts and pieces blend together. And the one that really does carry with the most genuine depth side of the class, and she's still fresh enough. Congratulations, Tyler. You'll be back for the star class. Michaela, I just changed my mind. You're number 20 in the start class. Bring your hog back. Please, Michaela, with your 296 pounders.
Well, 5 minutes to freshen them up. You guys, especially the heavyweights that just came out. Michaela and Tyler, go ahead and freshen them up. 5 minutes, we'll do start class. Okay, exhibitors, let's start bringing them in. You got 20 hogs going this way. This is our start class. This will be our start class. We'll give them a round of applause once they all enter the ring. But guys, start bringing your hogs, please. Start bringing your hogs. Should be 20 of them coming in. Bring them straight into the ring. No need to go to the pen. Bring them straight to the ring. We can clear the alleyways and clear the runway so everybody can get in, please. Straight in. I need to start seeing hogs. Come on, guys, let's get them here. Alright, start class exhibitors, bring them in, please, bring them in. Work them all the way to the north end of the ring, please, work them all the way to the north. These ones all should thrive just fine. Drag them all the way to the north, guys, drag them all the way down. Cam Cox, number 19.
This is your lightweight, right?
Number 18, Tyson Wolfson here. Number 18, Tyson Wolfson. Number 17, Lindsay Downer. Lindsay Downer, number 17.
Yeah, Rich had it. Yeah, Rich had it.
Number 16, Michaela Thomas, with her second pick. Number 15, Olivia Wolfman, for lightweight. Team, Natalie Wolfson, number 13, Tucker Thomas. Number 12, that's not supposed to be, I believe. Not supposed to be number 12. 10th place, Lindsay Downer. Ninth place, Tyler Wolfenweed. Number 8, Olin Thompson, number 8.
Now, Allison, you hung in there just.
Announce the buckle sponsors for this champion prize. The champion buckle is sponsored by Flag and Shield Pigs, Summit County Fair, Summit County Council. The Reserve champion buckle and banners were sponsored by Downer Show Pigs and Summit County Fair, Summit County Council. Austin Thomas. Adelie Wolfenwood in 5th, Austin in 6th. Heather Wolfenwood in 4th.
Again, let's give our top 3 exhibitors a big round of applause. It's been an awesome start class. I'm going to tell you one word. Well, okay, 2. There's 2 things that I think. Proportion and tailhead. That's how I'm sorting them. Do you want them third up? Are we sticking with that? Yay! Grand champion! Not.
Max Wolfenwood, grand champion, 2025.
Olin, I love her. I still do. She just gets a little bit more masked out compared to my winner. That's an awesome reserve champion. You're welcome.
Olin Thompson, reserve champion, 2025. And 3rd place is Olivia Wolfenwood. 3rd place, Olivia Wolfenwood. Congratulations, guys. Thanks for a great show. I'd like to thank our judge. As always, Cindy does an awesome job. She sorts them well.
I wasn't very good at thanking the support staff at